Are you tired of struggling with hair growth and thinning strands? Release the magic in your locks and tresses with I Am Melanin Magic Hair Oils. A premium blend of all natural ingredients strengthens, restores, and revitalizes your hair for maximum health and growth. Don't let thinning hair
straightened hair
brand. Upgrade your hair care game today.
So are you.
I Am Melanin Magic Hair Oils. Sisterlocks versus knotted locks, okay? This is going to be an interesting video because I want to share with you some of my experience. You all know I had Sisterlocks for 14 years, knotted locks for a little over a year. I'm very well equipped. I feel confident now, especially within the last 2 months since doing the Lockversary video. You all know I hit a major milestone that I spoke about in that knotted locks anniversary, first year anniversary, that I had a major breakthrough that I wish I had had much earlier. That was a result of the many twists and turns and the learning curve that can be inherent in transitioning from Sisterlocks to knotted locks, because they are very different. They have some things in common, but they have some very significant differences. And so I was able to share with you that I had found a fail-proof way to place the knot exactly where I wanted it. And the reason why that was so important is because had I known that early on, had there even been a fail-proof way, which there was not until I figured it out for myself, I could have saved myself a lot of I could have shortened the learning curve. I could have saved myself some frustration. You guys know I can be OCD about a lot of things, and I would have been ahead of the curve. But I also accept, acknowledge, and embrace the idea that everything happens for a reason. And had I not gone into knotted locks in the first place with the express intention of finding out as much as I could about this whole knot business and then reporting back to you all the unadulterated truth, which is something I vowed to you that I would do in my first few videos on knotted locks, which is why I asked a lot of you to let me go in. I remember specifically saying, let me go in and give it a year or so, and then let you know. Let me go in first with the risk, because you all know I've never been afraid to do anything with these locks. I was working on them in a short amount of time after I had my my Sisterlocks in the first place. I never had a problem taking them out. I never had a problem learning how to knot them on my own, interlock them on my own. I never had an issue taking them out. I never had an issue with any of that. I was willing to experiment and still say I had Sisterlocks. I wasn't gonna let anybody tell me whatever the heck they wanted to tell me about what I had. If it looked like a duck, act like a duck, and quack like a duck, it was a duck, right? So you all know that I was kind of sort of a non-conformist anyway. I was not that person that was going to be in the box. So same thing is true with knotted locks. I learned what a knot was. I already knew what a knot was, but I thought it was going to be, it was much bigger than that. So trying to wrap my head around the simplicity of a concept actually complicated it for me in the beginning. But once I understood that all I was doing was putting a knot there, then I began putting multiple knots in from the very beginning. I began doing things my way in order to figure out what I needed to be able to do to kind of make it more mine and to sort of tweak it in a way that made sense to me. And so in doing that, I was able to study different parts of my head. I was able to say, okay, I've got 4 hair textures. They're all knotting differently along with the densities. Different things are happening over here than are happening over there. I was able to make multiple mistakes. I was able to then understand how to back out of some of those mistakes in very non-intrusive ways and in some major ways. I did lock surgery on 2 of my locks. I experienced an entire lock to fall out as a result of continuing to try to undo a double and a triple knot. So I learned these things, and now I understand why I needed to learn them, because I can teach you a better way to knot. I can teach you a fail-proof method, and I can do an unveiling that will diminish and pretty much banish this whole secrecy around something. It's not the idea of a knot that's important. Anybody can put a knot on a lock once you realize that you're actually tying a knot. The issues come in with how to do it, how to maintain it when you shouldn't be doing it in the first place, false signs of hair growth, and a whole lot of other stuff that I'm very qualified to talk to you about. And I get into more in the Righteous Hair course, which you can go to the IamMelaninMagic.com website and you can sign up for that course. If you want a one-to-one training, you can sign up for a hair appraisal and I'll give you an hour and I'll teach you the basics. You will have access to the Righteous Hair course for a 3-year period. There are currently 55 plus videos and more videos being uploaded every week now that I'm back in the seat. You all know my father passed away several days ago. We were super close. So that introduced a monkey wrench into a lot of different things. But I'm grateful that the divine one, that God, whatever you want to call God, the universe, source, Jesus, whatever you want to call, was most merciful in that my dad did not suffer long. And I'm grateful that we were always close. But to get back to the topic, learning knotted locks, I still believe that knotted locks is a wonderful alternative and solution for a great many of people. I know now that knotted locks is not the solution for all people under all conditions. I believe that for me, knotted locks is the way that I'm going to continue to go, although I will be continuing to document my journey here, as well as still support Sisterlocks on the channel, because hell, 14 years of this is Sisterlocks. And I'm grateful for that as well. Although Sisterlocks is not a perfect system, there is no perfect system. That's what I want you to understand. There is no perfect system. Knotted locks is not perfect. Sisterlocks is not perfect. Microlocks is not perfect, and nor is any other lock. What is perfect is your hair already and what your hair is trying to tell you, and the relationship that you need to perfect between yourself and your hair. Yes, righteous hair from all of these different sides. So what I've learned is immense, and I now know why I had to do these things, why I had to have the scissors, why I had to try to get out knots, why I had to refuse for putting a knot to be random. There's no way under the sun, I believe, placing a knot should be random, and I was not satisfied with that randomness because it led to too many mistakes. If I'm going to do something, it needs to have a system, and it needs to land that knot in the right place every time, because when it doesn't, it will contribute to the breaking of my hair. And I did not work too hard, did not work as hard as I have to amass this healthy head of hair and do what I could when I had Sisterlocks. Even though I was beginning to experience some major red flags, I did not take over my own hair care destiny and journey and do the things that I've done on this channel to be uprooted, to have a tower moment, or to be blindsided by something that I jumped headstrong into. So it is in my interest to make sure that I learned everything I could about it, and it is now my responsibility to provide support to the many women who took the leap, even though I told them to wait for a year, took the leap and went in on their own and were not and did not feel that they were getting what they needed. I can now fill that void, and I will do that proudly, and I will continue to do that should you need it for whatever the length of time that is, because it certainly is not the only thing that I'm doing, and it's not my main mission here on the planet, but it is something that I was called to do. And as a result, I understand why so many things happened the way they did over the last 4 or 5 months. We think we know what God is planning for us, but we never know until we know, until the unfoldment. And even then, in the unfoldment, we don't always know what we think we know. But I understand now why so many things were happening. I want to give a special shout out to some of you sisters out there, and you know who you are. You know who you are. Some of you sisters out there who came to me to report on some of the things that you were experiencing and why you felt you were experiencing those things. Because me and my taking for granted what my experience was and what I was doing and how I made necessary adjustments based on what I was learning, you all didn't have that same benefit. And so as a result, you have had experiences that have been able to enlighten me, and you very much in confidence shared a lot with me, and I'm so grateful to that, because that's why I exist here on this channel. I don't exist on this channel to be loyal to a brand, to be loyal to an individual, but to do what my God-given assignment is, to have those steps be ordered and to do what I'm asked to do, and then to not give a damn about the rest. That's just who I am. That's always been who I have been. That's why I exist on this platform, and that's why I exist on my other platforms as well. And I will continue to do that. And some people will love that and be grateful for that, and others won't like it, and I don't care about them either. It just is irrelevant, because I'm not interested in the applause or the disapproval from any human being. I've stepped into my authenticity at this point. I'm no longer concerned with people pleasing, and I have pulled out my sword, the sword of truth. Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords up here in the house. So anyway, just so that you understand some of the major differences, they're all both small locks. One uses a knot, an actual knot, just like you would tie a knot on anything, okay? An actual knot. The other one uses interlocking, okay, to maintain the style. Those things are what make them very different. The knot is going to stand up, giving you more volume. The interlock initially will be more flat, although over time, depending upon how your hair develops, it will form a more cylindrical sort of a shape as well, and it won't be as flat, but it's going to feel lighter. The knot is going to feel more, it's going to feel thicker and rounder, okay? Is my feeling that just like the interlocking, you're going to be better off, and this is a comparison, not a contrast, you're going to be better off keeping those knots together. All right, many people were not keeping their knots together, and they have space in there, which you can go back and remedy with my method without creating a further issue. But you can also, depending upon what's going on with your hair, create weaknesses that I feel could have been avoided and should be avoided, along with deciding whether or not you're a good candidate. That's something that Sisterlocks and Microlocks and Knotted Locs have in common. Not everybody is going to be a good candidate for Knotted Locs. Not everybody's a good candidate for Sisterlocks. The other thing that I think is very important to mention is, while this style can free you, one of the biggest freedoms is that instead of 6 to 12 hour retightening, you can do a retightening of your entire head in an hour and a half to 2 hours. And it can be, if you do it with my method, it can be uneventful and very easy and mistake free. That is huge, even if you're someone that never has wanted to do your own hair and you find yourself wanting to do your own hair. Some of you may be finding that you are hoping that this will grow and other people will be able to do it. That is my hope as well, that you'll be able to eventually have other people to do this. So if you decide you want to learn and then work with other people, by all means, come on Discord. Discord is in the description. Click on the ellipses under the name of my video, or click on more. Click on the Discord link so that you can come into the I Am Melanin Magic Discord group. It's new, but it's a platform for you to say if you're looking for a Sisterlocks loctician. Tell us who the badass locticians are that are doing a wonderful job. Put your own videos and pictures up there to unveil what it is that you're doing with your own hair that feels empowering to you, regardless of what style you have. It's for locticians, it's for hairstylists, cosmetologists, people with any kind of lock, traditional locks, freeform locks, anything like that. It's for the people. I encourage you to help us build this community by coming in and just sharing your thoughts. And, you know, so many other things can come about as a result of this. But one thing that's very interesting is I found that my hair tends to lock faster with the knots, depending upon the texture of hair in a particular area, than it did with the interlocking. Lock in the sense that it starts to embed. But with the knot, once you get the knot in, it is very difficult to back out of it. The longer that you wait, if you have made a mistake, it's very difficult to back out of it. Now, you'll find that if you make a little bit of mistakes with the interlocking. But if someone is standing over your head and they're very skilled like Naima was, she could go back through a couple of the points on a rotation to unmarry something, but it's very time consuming. That can be very perilous with the knotted locks. If you have knotted locks, it's going to be easy for you to transition, or if you have sister locks, it's going to be easy for you to transition to knotted locks, provided you take certain precautions on the front end. And those precautions very well exceed just waiting a certain amount of time to have your hair growth, because just because your hair grows back doesn't mean it's strong. New hair is not strong, especially if it's been traumatized. So if you go into knotted locks with traumatized hair, you're going to have some issues as well. In particular, if you start making mistakes with the knots, or you don't have enough information going in, for whatever the reasons are that you don't have enough information, you need that information going in. You need to understand the ins and outs of it. You need to have the kind of training that is revelation, that is revealing experiences, so that you don't have to circumnavigate something that could potentially become another trauma after already having had a trauma. Then you can be left to your own, to explore your hair, to be creative, to learn what your hair wants to tell you. But on the front end, mistakes need to be minimized, and you need a fail-proof method to get those knots in there. And if anything that you run into a problem, if anything, when you run into a problem, it needs to be because you are not executing the fail-proof method, not because there isn't a fail-proof method, or not because you don't have the certain information that can keep you from going down the rabbit hole. You don't need that. And so in terms of, like I said, taking a mistake out, it can be a trial and a tribulation. In my mind, taking out a sister lock mistake is a lot easier than taking out a knotted lock mistake, because the perilousness of it, or the hazardousness of it, will happen instantly. In the trying to take it out, you will immediately experience thinning. In most cases, if the knot is tight, if the tension has not been controlled for. The tension in and of itself can be an issue, which you don't experience as much with sister locks in the same way as too much tension can be a problem with the knot. So there are a lot of different things. Marrying knotted locks, and when you need to do that and how you need to do that is critical. If you decide you want to go back, your hair needs to be healthy enough and your knots need to be close enough so that they don't get caught up when you're going back to interlocking, if that's what you choose. Because if not, then you'll need to be able to bypass all of those different knots that you didn't knot closely, or that you didn't fill in those empty spaces. So this, along with a litany of many other things I discuss in those videos and tutorials on the Righteous Hair course. We must move righteously when it comes to our hair, and we must be analytical when it comes to our hair, and we must not accept less when it comes to our hair. And that is what I am about here on this channel. As you all already know, I love you. I appreciate you. Again, thank you to the many sisters who have shared their wisdom with me and who have made the outcry that was the impetus for the Righteous Hair course. You can take it on the website. You will have the introductory price all the way up until September the 17th, at which time it will go to the regular price of $199. You can also pay for your course in installments, which is even more wonderful. So you have a limitless amount of time to revisit the course, to watch new video posts, and to continue to learn this method. And I encourage you, if you're on the fence because you're losing hair, pick a few strands and not just those strands, and see how you like knotting, and monitor, engage the process moving forward. You don't have to commit 100% if that's not what you're ready for. But if you're not sure about your sister locks, or you have some major concerns when it comes to thinning and you want to try something else, or let's say you like your sister locks but you feel like you want to eventually take on your maintenance, your own, and you don't want excessively long retightenings and you want to give it a try, still experiment. I'm all about doing what works for you. I'm all about arming you with the information that you need so that you can do the things that you need to be able to do when it comes to your hair, and so that you have the best information that can help you make the righteous decisions when it comes to your hair, and so that you're simply not in the dark, and so that this veil that's been upon us all of this time, is nothing wrong with a veil, but when the unveiling is showing that the veil has been harming and hurting some people, then that's when we have to do the unshrouding, and that's when we have to bring things out into the light. There's nothing wrong with wanting to, keep certain things close to your chest. But if those things and the revelation of those things can keep my people from making certain mistakes that can sometimes be irreparable, that's what I'm all about here on this channel. So hopefully you've heard something that makes sense to you. If you want to get in touch with me, go to IamMelaninMagic.com. In case you all haven't known, we have had some beautiful releases of some new products on the site, y'all. This is the beautiful Cucumber Kiwi Delight. It's amazing. Shout out to the lovely sister who texted me today from our channel, who was raving about this Cocoa Batana elixir here that we have. A beautiful, beautiful message from the lovely Miriam, who swears by this. She loves the smell, y'all. If you are a chocolate lover, a coffee lover, a caramel lover, and you want something in your hair that's going to give you excellent antioxidant support, is very light and can help bring back the health and revitalize your hair and your follicles, this is your product. This is the limited edition of the Citrus Synergy, which is a light, refreshing smell, which is a very therapeutic oil. It has some of the same major carrier oils that are in this blend here, which is the premium blend, which also now comes in the travel size. You can buy these together for the price of what you were paying this for, a little bit less. There's an amazing sale on the site that will be going on until up through August. Here you will see the Magical Hair Growth Serum, which is our premier product. You have the Fearless Follicles here, which you all have gotten great results from. And you have my family's 53-year-old recipe here in the Grease Lightening Growth, and Slide Pomade, which you place it here right on the scalp. You do not get your knots or your interlocks covered in this. You place it right on the scalp at the new growth, and you gently slide up. You gently slide up. Okay, you coat the hair. This is great if you have natural hair. You're going to use it like you would use when you were greasing your hair or putting pomade on your hair when you were a kid, vertically and horizontally. But if you have locks, you want to use this very sparingly. It's so light it will melt and liquefy once you put it on your hair, but it is excellent if you have very dry hair, or if you're having trouble keeping your locks separated in between your reknottings, your relockings, or your retightenings. It will help alleviate some of that stress by coating your hair in between retightenings, and it's going to last a lot longer than the oil. If you have the type of hair that just sucks up, it just drinks the oil. You know how like kids that have eczema, and even when you put everything on their skin that is supposed to help keep it moist or to seal in moisture, it is dry, like so dry, ashy dry within an hour or two. Some people have hair like that, and they're constantly experiencing dryness, and that's something that you can alleviate by using this. Again, that's called Grease Lightning, and all of these are on the website at a very much reduced price, a summer sale that you all will notice is here to support and to help to make it easy for you to try some of the newer items. Also, there's the Ronnie's Refresh Mist, which is wonderful. It is a proprietary blend of floral waters, essential oils like echinacea, rosemary, and many others that are wonderful for your hair. And when you put that on your hair, it softens your locks. and it makes your hair feel very good. And you can go in with that on dry days, or when you come out of the sauna and you need a refresh, or you rinsed your hair after a workout and you just put a little bit of water in it and let it drip out, and you want to then spray this in it for a refresher. It's excellent. So hopefully you guys got something from the video. I appreciate all your support, all your well wishes, and for those of you who have given your condolences, I definitely appreciate that. I value you. And I care about you deeply, and I appreciate the tremendous support. I am truly grateful and humbled. If you haven't gotten my book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece, you can get that on Amazon. You can also get it on Barnes & Noble. Sending you lots of love. Please share this video. Consider taking a look at the Righteous Hair Course table of contents, which can be seen on the link to the course, which you can get either from the description. You can also get it from the I Am Melanin Magic website. There's a page that gives you an intro, but will also link you directly to the course. If you're someone that has transitioned to knotted locks and is having problems, you need to get in touch with me via the website, set up a 1-hour consultation, and let me assist you. Let me assist you. I am fairly sure, short of giving you a guarantee, that some of the things that I can share with you about this style can help give you the extra edge to go in confidently and execute your knots and rescue anything else that you might have done that may not have had to be a part of your experience. Lots of love to you. The sun is past the golden hour. It's coming in. Love to you all. Again, thank you.